Welcome to this episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. I'm Taylor Burton-Edwards, Liturgy Man, your Director of Worship Resources with Discipleship Ministries of the United Methodist Church.
And I'm Victoria Rebeck, and I'm Director of Deacon Ministry Development for the United Methodist Board of Higher Education and Ministry.
And we're beginning this three-part series in the work and role of the deacon in worship in the United Methodist Church. Part one, this episode, looks at sort of the general role of the deacon throughout a standard service of word and table. Part two will look specifically at the ways in which the deacon assists at the Lord's table. And part three will look at ways in which the deacon assists at the sacrament of baptism. So we'll start with part one. Victoria?
Deacons have a historic and important role in worship leadership. And as our Book of Discipline says in paragraph 328, deacons give leadership in the church's life in teaching and proclaiming the word, in contributing to worship, in assisting elders in administering the sacraments of baptism and Holy Communion, or in presiding at the celebration of sacraments when contextually appropriate and duly authorized. So, where can deacons lead, especially in our basic pattern of worship? Well, really in quite a bit of it. They can lead the greeting. They can lead the prayer for illumination. And historically, deacons read the gospel. They also can lead in the creed or affirmation of faith. They can lead the prayers of the people, and they can also do the invitation to the table. They can lead the confession, whereas the elder would do the pardon and then lead the passing of the peace. Historically, deacons also call for the offering. That's an important part of our ministry of connecting the worship of the people to the needs of the outside world, because after all, that's an important part of why we contribute, because we support the ministry of the church to the community and the world. Further, we assist at the table, and as Taylor said, we'll talk about that in more detail next time, and we help serve the elements. And also, at the end of the service, we would do the sending forth. The elder would do the benediction, and that's the blessing part. Often that would be a Trinitarian blessing, whereas the deacon, being deacons and in our role, then send the people forth into ministry in the world. And one other thing, of course, we have a ministry of the word, so it's very appropriate for deacons to preach as well. So deacons, we have a very important role in worship leadership, and it's very important to take that role. I know that there are deacons who sometimes have a role in the church where they feel called to be looking over children's Sunday school or something during worship, but it's important, deacons, for you to be in worship, because as the elder represents back to the people the priesthood of all believers, the deacon represents to the people the diaconia, the servanthood of all believers. Having that partnership is really a crucial part of how we lead worship.
So that's part one. I hope you found this helpful. Remember, you can always contact me, worship at umcdiscipleship.org, through our UMC Worship Facebook group, or
you can contact me at deacons@gbhem.org.
And through the United Methodist Deacons Facebook group.
Oh, yes, but that's closed book. Sorry.
So's ours. And yes, we can. You can always leave a comment here on this page, and perhaps your question or comment will become the basis for a future episode of Q&A with Liturgy Man. May the peace of Christ be always with you.